Lebanon County, and today I've brought with me Casey Klauser. He is our Master Gardner Coordinator, Master Watershed Steward Coordinator, and this is a new development for us in the Extension Office, so I wanted to come and chat with you a little bit about that, and then also give an update on the fair. So if Casey, you wouldn't mind introducing yourself? And
Yes.
explain more.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Casey Klauser. I grew up in Schaeferstown, and then I lived in Pittsburgh the last 10 years, so recently moved back to be a part of the Penn State Extension team. So I'm excited to...
Smart move.
Right.
Welcome home.
Thank you. Thanks. So in Pittsburgh, I did work on urban farming and stormwater management for a nonprofit that did work in the city. And so I'm happy to take that knowledge that I learned there to bring back to Lebanon County in a rural suburban setting, and here even in the city urban. So it's great to have all those kind of settings all in one small place to work with the community. So I'm excited I've been working for about a month now, so I'm excited to been able to work with the Master Gardeners in Lebanon County and get a real grasp on what they're doing and help them, but then also starting this new program with the Master Watershed Steward. So being able to work with community members and citizens of Lebanon County, Lancaster, and Dauphin as well on how to utilize the watersheds here that, are leading into Chesapeake and having so many issues there, and how we can restore watershed quality and be able to utilize the community members as the people to kind of make that change. So I'm excited to be a part of it and be back in Lebanon County for sure. Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
I'd like to make sure that you are invited to join in two studies that are going on right now.
Okay.
You might be aware of them and maybe not. One is the United States Department of Agriculture is conducting a study, and they just had their initial meeting this past week. So they're in your building.
Okay,
You might
yeah.
want to walk down the
Yeah.
hall and talk to them. And the other one is a combination of DCNR and the Audubon Society and others getting together, and they're going to be doing a flyover, and they're going to come at it from an economic perspective and
Right.
how improving the watershed for clean water
Right.
also benefits us financially. So they're both pretty exciting studies, and I want to make sure you know that you're invited. The SWATAR Watershed Association is coordinating that one for the county, and they're going to be meeting the first Wednesday of each month. So whoever is interested can give us a call, and we'll get them the information.
Definitely.
Great, thank you for
You're
sharing
welcome.
that. Our statewide coordinator for the Master Watershed Steward has been out on maternity leave, so we're letting Casey just get on board with the Master Gardener program, but I think she's coming back this week or next.
she's
So
coming back, yep.
We'll look to connect and make sure that Casey's getting the updates for those things.
I think this is a wonderful addition to your team. But
Yes.
what about the fair? Let's hear about the fair.
That's where we're
Thank you,
getting
Casey.
to.
Yep.
So, as you know, the fair starts Saturday, and everything's been gearing up. We had set up on Tuesday night where we had many of the 4-H kids come and help set up, along with our county agriculture classes and teachers that were there as well. So we have 31 entrants in the county horse show on Saturday. And then there'll be adult leaders that will be proactive to deal with the extreme temperatures. I wanted to be sure that we noted that to keep both the kids and the animals safe. That we've been talking about this across our organization all week, gearing up for these activities. We want to make sure that we're providing cooling tents and shade and misting the horses and the riders as well. So we have 346 indoor exhibits from members in 14 different 4-H clubs. These will come in Friday evening and Saturday morning. And then our overall fair entries this year are 83 farm crop entries, 590 vegetable entries, 353 home baking and canning entries, 937 floral entries, 186 in needlecraft, 702 art, photography, and handcraft entries, 53 apiary and beekeeping entries. 4-H, along with the Master Gardeners, will both have information booths and displays to be able to provide information on these wonderful programs that do come through Penn State Extension, but by the support of you, our county commissioners, and the county allocation. So we hope to see many people at the fair, and that they'll stop in to learn more. One other thing I wanted to note, our county livestock judging team did quite well at the state contest last month, and they will be going to nationals in November to represent, since they won the state contest. So the members of that team are Elizabeth Voigt, Madison Weaver, Dakota Grumbine, and Jared Baumgardner. So
But
just
those are
wanted to
some
share that.
familiar names in the
Very
county.
familiar names. So we're.
Isn't this the second year that they've won that?
I believe 2 out of the last 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they won that last year. There was another. I think it was Lancaster County that won last year, but it was Lebanon the previous year. So they keep tag teaming back and forth on that. And I know they work together as a team leading up to it to train and share information and practice and such. So all these wonderful programs for 4-H could not happen without the support from the county. So we really appreciate all that you do for us.
It's a great partnership. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I think our chief assessor, Dan Seaman, volunteers with that team.
Yes,
Is that right?
yes, he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yep, yes, he does. I had to think a minute on that last name, but
He's a pig farmer.
yes. As you note the swine, there is a little bit of a concern in some different practices this year due to the threat of African swine fever. So the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture has put in some new practices for our fairs and such this year. All the pigs that come to the fair must go to market within a certain weight, and that's just to help stop that spread. African swine fever cannot be transmitted to people, but we wouldn't want to have it transferred to other pig species when they're there. So there has been some change from that rather than kids being able to take their projects back home.
Anything else?
On a different topic, unless you have more on this
Well,
one.
if it's related to the extension office, sure.
Okay. Is there an update on the spotted lanternfly in Lebanon County? Are we, seeing any activity or not?
Unfortunately, we are, and unfortunately, we're seeing a little bit of an increase. Do you want to speak to that a little bit, or I can?
You can. I mean, we've seen a little bit, but I'm not comparing to last year, so I don't know what it was compared to last year. But I know there
So
is an
here in the
increase.
last week to 10 days, we've started to see it changing into that 4th Instar Nymph stage.
Black
So
with
this
the white dots.
black with white dots, and now we're starting to see the red.
Oh.
So the 4th Instar is when you start to see the red. And why we believe that we're seeing or hearing more increase is because folks are now recognizing it as a spotted lanternfly because of the red color. So our phones have been more active, I would say, in the last week to 10 days. And this is where we still want to advocate for getting rid of the spotted lanternfly. And if you must use chemicals, please look at the practices and the best guidelines for homeowners and commercial so that we're using the least amount of chemical, but obviously taking care of it.
Is
There-
it an isolated area or?
No, I mean, it's because it's expanded to 15 counties here, we are seeing the spread of this.
But in Lebanon County, where is it?
In Lebanon County, it would be in the northeastern part of the county is where we're hearing it come
Bethel.
from.
Okay.
Bethel, Cornwall a little bit, so right over from the Berks and Lancaster line. Lancaster has seen a huge increase here in the last, I would say, month. Ephrata area is just going bonkers with spotted lanternfly. So as we know, 322 is quite the corridor between there on the way to Lebanon County. So we anticipate more seeing this. There are materials on our website and in our office. If people have questions and want to learn how to best manage this, we can help them out. So we would encourage the public to call.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And at the fair, the Master Gardeners will have a table on spotted lanternfly
Oh,
information
wonderful.
to give out to the public. So
That's
Okay.
right.
we'll have all those
Yep,
pamphlets
yep.
and information there at the fair.
So at the smaller stage, they can be quick, so it can be tough to track them. But even, spraying water from a hose at a large, that will slow them down, and then it's easier to, say swat them if you see just a small section of them in your yard, if you will. So there are a lot of different ways that we can go about this. It's going to take an integrated pest management approach to be able to curtail it.
Okay.
Well, let's hope for the weather to be maybe not as hot as they're calling for, but the rain last year was the killer.
It was horrendous.
6 out of 7 days, I think we had
Yes.
heavy.
Yep, so high hopes for better weather, and we can enjoy and celebrate all of Lebanon County agriculture this week.
I had a meeting out there this morning, and it's really alive.
Yes.
A lot of volunteers out there already,
Mhm.
but it's all set up. It's ready to go, so it looks great.
So we hope to see you there.
40,000 people out there, yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
all righty.